Now, I have enough information to write the full script. Let me put it all together. Finesse2tymes is officially joining NBA YoungBoy's Never Broke Again label, but the signing itself isn't what's making headlines. Instead, it's YoungBoy's response afterward that has the internet buzzing, with many fans believing he couldn't resist taking a public jab at J Prince. Let me break it down. Finesse2tymes had been releasing music under the Mob Ties record label for years, and his frustration had been quietly building for a long time before he finally decided to go public with it. Out of J Prince Jr. And his Mob Ties record deal went well beyond the usual internet banter and into serious career territory. In January 2026, Finesse openly requested a release from his Mob Ties recording contract, calling it the worst contract he had ever signed. Not the worst deal in a vague, general sense. The worst he personally had ever put his name on. That's a statement, especially when you're Finesse2tymes, a rapper who came home from prison, dropped a project, and made noise fast. He didn't just stumble into the music industry. He knew what he was doing, and he still ended up in a deal he was calling the worst of his career. He took it straight to Instagram. Junior, I want out my contract too, he said. I don't want to be Mob Ties no more. I want my own. Let me go, Junior. That's not a quiet negotiation. That's not a back-channel conversation with lawyers. That's a rapper going on social media and publicly demanding freedom from a label owned by one of Houston's most connected rap dynasties. The boldness alone had people paying attention, because you don't just do that to J Prince Jr. without knowing what you're getting yourself into. According to what's been reported on the deal, Finesse would receive 35% of the revenue from music, J Prince Jr.'s label would receive 35%, and J Prince Sr. would receive 30%. So, Finesse does the work. He makes the music. He builds the buzz. And then two members of the same family split 65% of everything he generates. And he's the one performing, creating, grinding. The numbers tell the whole story on their own. In one social media rant, he compared his treatment with the record label to slavery. He said the situation had gotten to the point where he didn't even want to put out a new album. Mob Ties the worst deal I ever signed. He admitted. I should have just went to Atlantic by myself. He said. Why is it that ain't got no hits, ain't accomplished nothing? How are they getting in these rooms I ain't getting in? I got gold plaques and all this talent is just going to waste. At this point, this is slavery. That energy, raw, unfiltered, increasingly desperate, set the stage for everything that followed. Because when an artist that publicly on fire starts advertising that he wants out, every label in rap takes notice, including YoungBoy Never Broke Again. But before we get to that signing, you have to understand just how complicated the battlefield already was. Finesse even put the actual contract into ChatGPT to understand what he had signed. The results left him astonished. He was basically locked into a 360 deal, meaning the label had the rights to his name and likeness. ChatGPT explained that his advance and benefits, including jewelry and luxury accommodations, like private jets, could be used against him in court if he tried to negotiate. Any attempt to walk away could trigger legal action or recoupment claims. He couldn't escape the assignment clause, either, which would allow the label to transfer the contract to another label at any time. And what made the whole thing worse was this. The old man told me, don't get a lawyer, he said, referring to J Prince Sr., though he later admitted his real issues were primarily with his son, Prince Jr. So the advice he got from the man he trusted was to sign without legal protection, and he did. And now he was stuck in a deal that on paper locked him in from every possible angle. Now enter NBA YoungBoy. Never Broke Again LLC is a record label based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, founded by YoungBoy Never Broke Again and OG33 Never Broke Again in 2015. It launched as an imprint of Atlantic Records, a division of Warner Music Group, until 2022, after which it has operated as an imprint of Motown, a division of Universal Music Group. YoungBoy didn't just build a music career. He built infrastructure. And when Finesse started screaming to get out of Mob Ties in January 2026, YoungBoy was watching. The whole rap internet was watching, but YoungBoy wasn't just a spectator. He'd had his own history with J Prince, and that history made this signing hit like a personal statement. To understand why YoungBoy co-signing Finesse2tymes carried so much weight, you have to understand what YoungBoy and the Prince family have been to each other over the years. And the answer is not friends. James Prince, better known as J Prince, has long been one of the godfathers of Southern rap, founding Rap-A-Lot Records and putting on groups like the Ghetto Boys and UGK. Prince also got involved in the careers of modern stars like Drake, offering the Canadian artist the resources and backing of Houston's hip-hop apparatus to help support his early career. With his hands in the careers of superstars for decades, he's gained a reputation as one of hip-hop's biggest power brokers. The idea of having to check in with J. Prince has become something of an internet meme, but it does represent the power his name still holds. If you're a rapper who raps about being in the streets and you plan on traveling to Houston, better check in with J. Prince. That's the culture around him, and YoungBoy is not the kind of person who checks in with anyone. Back in 2023, after Baton Rouge rapper NBA YoungBoy made a diss track targeting a Texas resident described as a son to J. Prince, the Rap-A-Lot family responded. YoungBoy had made it clear he wasn't operating by anyone else's rules. Not in Houston, not anywhere. And that put him directly in conflict with a family that thrives on controlling exactly those kinds of rules. Drake and the Prince family have been inextricable since the beginning, with the Princes going to bat for the Canadian rapper at any sign of trouble. As I said to you privately, I say to you publicly that Drake is my son. He roll with me, Prince Sr. wrote in an Instagram post addressing NBA YoungBoy. Therefore, I think it's a good idea to take him off your enemy list. Think about the audacity of that statement. J. Prince addressing YoungBoy, publicly telling him to stand down. Telling one of the most streamed artists on the planet to adjust his enemy list because the Prince family said so, and YoungBoy, he didn't comply. He never does. J. Prince responded to YoungBoy after he told mind his effing business following an incident involving stolen keys. The back and forth between them wasn't a polished rap beef with diss tracks and press runs. It was personal. It was sharp. And it simmered for years without a proper resolution. So when Finesse2tymes started his very public war against mob ties in January 2026, YoungBoy was already primed to be watching. He already had a grudge. He already had leverage. And now he had a Memphis rapper who was talented, had a fan base, and was trapped in a contract with a family YoungBoy had already crossed swords with. That's not a coincidence. That's strategy. J. Prince Jr. founded the Mob Ties record label in 2017 following in his father's and Rap-A-Lot Records' footsteps. The label was designed to be a continuation of the family legacy. The Houston grip on Southern rap extending into a new generation. Finesse2tymes was supposed to be one of the flagship artists that proved the next generation of the Prince family could develop talent the same way the old guard did. Instead, Finesse became the loudest voice calling out everything wrong with how the operation actually ran. And when he ended up on YoungBoy's roster, it didn't just signal a business move. It signaled that the next generation of the Prince legacy had a very public crack in it. One that YoungBoy didn't miss and was absolutely not going to let slide quietly. Finesse2tymes had been demanding that Prince Jr. let him out of his contract in recent months. And when Prince Jr. finally responded publicly on Instagram one Monday morning, he trolled Finesse over his physical appearance. The move came as the rapper had been vocally complaining about his deal. Not a Nate that got lipo, his titties done and a tummy tuck. Talking about some hair, Prince Jr. captioned the post. That was the response. Not a legal counter-argument. Not a press release. Not a rebuttal to Finesse's financial grievances. A personal dig at his appearance. And the internet immediately noticed what that response revealed. Prince Jr. had nothing substantive to say in defense of the deal itself. Here's the twist that makes this whole story genuinely wild. Before Finesse2tymes ended up on Never Broke Again, he and YoungBoy were beefing with each other. Louisiana rapper NBA YoungBoy escalated a beef with Memphis rapper Finesse2tymes, calling him out for allegedly reaching out to his wife, Jaslyn Michelle, via DMs. YoungBoy posted a video revealing that the beef began after Finesse reached out to his wife. That right there is how it started. Not a rap beef over lyrics or labels or street politics. It started because Finesse allegedly slid into YoungBoy's wife's DMs. And if you know anything about how YoungBoy operates online, you know he's not going to let that sit. YoungBoy retaliated with a very unorthodox shot. He posted a photo of Finesse's child's mother on his Instagram story depicting her in pink lingerie and bunny ears. I got that bag FR. He captioned it. For a second post, he shared a picture of Boston Richie's girlfriend and added a mountain emoji and a question mark, possibly an invite to his Gravedigger Mountain property. YoungBoy wasn't just firing shots. He was flexing his financial position while doing it. The message was clear. He had the money and the platform to humiliate anyone he wanted to. And Finesse was going to feel it publicly. YoungBoy had unloaded on Finesse after the Memphis rapper previously offered him the chance to FaceTime his girlfriend for $250. The back and forth started when YoungBoy appeared to shoot his shot at Finesse's girlfriend. The back-end rapper responded by offering YoungBoy the chance to FaceTime his woman for $250. It was Finesse doing what Finesse does. Turning everything into a hustle, even his own drama. His logic was basically, if you want access, pay for it. He wasn't taking it personally. He was monetizing it. In a follow-up video, Finesse claimed that YoungBoy was thrown off mentally and said he wouldn't engage with the Baton Rouge rapper having experienced mental health struggles himself. He also said he's been in the house for 2 years. He's basically in a luxury cell. Referring to YoungBoy's Utah house arrest. Finesse went further saying real gangsters don't cry about women. Real gangsters don't go to war about women. You just a young nay. You don't know no better. So, this was full-blown hostility. Personal shots on both sides. YoungBoy posting women. Finesse questioning his mental health and calling him a boy. By April 2024, these two were not on any kind of speaking terms. And yet, barely 2 years later, Finesse2tymes would end up signed to YoungBoy's label. YoungBoy had also made clear at the time that he was not interested in being friends with Finesse. That sentence matters because the word friends wasn't part of the deal when Finesse eventually signed to Never Broke Again, either. This was business. Cold, calculated, mutually beneficial business. YoungBoy needed an artist with buzz and a story. Finesse needed a label that could actually push him forward and get him out from under the Prince family's thumb. And whatever beef had popped off between them on social media in 2024 apparently didn't outweigh the value of the deal on the table. That's rap. Enemies become business partners when the numbers make sense. And the numbers here made sense for both of them. But the road from that April 2024 back and forth to Finesse walking through the Never Broke Again door in 2026 wasn't straight at all. There was a lot more to untangle first, including an entire web of drama between J. Prince Jr. and YoungBoy's circle that went way beyond any Instagram argument. The rivalry between the YoungBoy camp and the Prince family didn't stay online. It landed in a Houston restaurant with gunfire. NBA Ben 10, a Baton Rouge rapper closely affiliated with YoungBoy Never Broke Again, was among 2 men shot during a chaotic altercation at Confessions Restaurant and Lounge in Houston's Upper Kirby neighborhood. According to the Houston Police Department, officers responded to the upscale venue around 11:30 p.m. after reports of gunfire. Police say the violence erupted from an attempted robbery involving a chain snatching. A group of men allegedly confronted and assaulted another individual inside or near the restaurant, after which the targeted man fought back, gained control of a firearm, and opened fire, striking 2 victims. Ben Anthony Fields, 26, known professionally as NBA Ben 10, was hit multiple times in the torso and chest. A second man in his mid-20s sustained several gunshot wounds to his arms and legs. Both victims remained in critical condition. Rumors started flying online immediately. Was Ben 10 dead? Was this connected to the YoungBoy Prince drama? Who exactly was involved? After rumors began circulating that Ben 10 had died, OG Monique, believed to be the mother of YoungBoy affiliate OG 33, took to Instagram to dispute the claims and confirm he was still alive. 10 is alert. Stop the made-up stories, she wrote. He survived. But the fallout from the night was far from over. The shooting gave rise to speculation that Prince Jr. was somehow connected to the event that saw NBA Ben 10, a close friend of NBA YoungBoy, shot. The fires of speculation on Prince Jr.'s involvement were fueled by Detroit rapper All-Star JR, who claimed involvement in the shooting, alleging that he shot NBA Ben 10 while defending his jewelry. He continued to taunt Prince Jr. online, even using the incident to promote a new single, a diss track aimed at Prince Jr. and NBA Ben 10. Thought he was mob-tized till I shot his ass a few times, All-Star JR rapped on Mob United. All-Star JR turned it into a song, a promotional tool. He was so unbothered by any potential consequences from the Prince family that he made a whole diss track about it and kept taunting them publicly. That alone tells you how the perception of the Mob Ties name had shifted in certain circles. Commentary further claimed that the targeted individual was All-Star JR and that Prince Jr. allegedly directed Ben 10 and his crew to rob him as a way to settle a personal dispute involving the rapper's baby mama. Those details remained entirely unconfirmed by police or official sources. Houston PD did not link the shooting to any rap beef or name any individuals beyond the victims. Prince Jr. did not publicly comment on the matter. What's confirmed? YoungBoy's close affiliate got shot in Houston, and when that city, the Prince family city, became the scene of that kind of violence connected to his circle, it added fuel to an already burning fire. Now, the beef wasn't just about Instagram posts and contract disputes. It was about real-world stakes. The speculation around Prince Jr.'s involvement was especially pointed because NBA Ben 10 is a close friend of NBA YoungBoy. And All-Star JR fanned those flames further with his very public claims. Finesse2tymes watched all of this unfold from his own corner of the drama. He was the Mob Ties artist who'd been publicly calling out Prince Jr. for months. He was trapped in a deal he hated, and now the family he was signed to was at the center of one of the biggest controversy stories in Houston rap in 2026. Finesse wasn't naive. He could see the walls closing in on the Mob Ties brand, and he could also see where the doors were opening. Everything converged. The public escape attempt from Mob Ties, the years-long tension between YoungBoy and J. Prince, the Houston shooting putting Prince Jr. under a microscope, the prior beef between YoungBoy and Finesse2tymes that somehow dissolved into a business deal, and then Finesse2tymes officially signed to Never Broke Again LLC. The label YoungBoy, built from Baton Rouge, had grown from a regional collective into a real operation with Atlantic and then Motown behind it. Having signed and released albums for artists like Quando Rondo and No Cap, as well as several upcoming Southern hip-hop artists. It's not a vanity label. It's a working label with distribution, infrastructure, and a dedicated fanbase that follows everything YoungBoy touches. Never Broke Again is based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and operates as an imprint of Motown, a division of Universal Music Group. That's real institutional backing. And when Finesse signed there, he wasn't just escaping Mob Ties. He was walking into a machine. Now, here's where YoungBoy's mockery of J. Prince comes into full focus. This signing wasn't quiet. It wasn't handled behind the scenes with lawyers and a polite press release. YoungBoy made sure people knew. He had spent years going at the Prince family, publicly telling J. Prince Sr. to mind his business, refusing to check in, making diss tracks, watching his affiliate get shot in Houston. And now he had pulled one of Mob Ties artists directly onto his roster. That's not just a signing. That's a message. The mockery was embedded in the act itself. YoungBoy didn't need to say a specific word. Signing Finesse2tymes, the same rapper who'd been screaming publicly for months about how bad Mob Ties was, the same rapper who'd compared the deal to slavery, the same rapper who told Prince Jr. "Let me go on Instagram Live," was YoungBoy's laugh-out-loud moment at J. Prince's expense. In March, Prince Jr. had called out Finesse for repeatedly stating he wants out of his contract, trolling the rapper over his physical appearance. That was the best J. Prince Jr. could muster. Insults about how Finesse looked. And then within weeks, that same artist was on YoungBoy's label. In a post, Finesse expressed disappointment with Prince Jr. and the situation at large because he had placed trust in them. That's the gut punch underneath all the noise. He trusted them. He walked in, signed the papers, maybe even believed the promises. And what he got in return was a 360 deal that owned his name, his likeness, and his future, while the Prince family collected the majority of everything he built. This story hit the nerve of modern rap, artists chasing independence, labels and management protecting leverage, fans watching every move like a playoff series. A contract is supposed to be a partnership, but the second one side feels boxed in, that paperwork starts looking less like opportunity and more like a cage. And YoungBoy, who has his own complicated history with major labels, who signed a massive deal with Atlantic, who then moved to Motown, who has fought publicly for creative independence his entire career, understood that better than most. He had noted that for him, any deal he made had to come from a place of responsibility to his artists, to make sure to find the right partner for his label. That's the pitch he made to Finesse. That's the promise Never Broke Again represented to a rapper who'd been burned by an operation that promised the same. J. Prince has had beef with a who's who of rap figures, including 50 Cent, Maze and Cameron, the now incarcerated Sean Diddy Combs, Pusha T, and more. The Prince family has been in conflict with somebody for as long as they've been in the business. That's part of the mythology. But the Finesse2tymes situation exposed something different. Not external enemies, but internal ones. An artist they signed, developed, and invested in walking out the door and landing with a man who had been going at them for years. Between Senior and his sons, the list of opponents keeps growing. And now YoungBoy is at the very top of that list in a way that's no longer just about words on Instagram. He took something from them. He took someone from them. And he did it right in front of the whole internet, while Finesse2tymes had been giving the world a front row seat to exactly how the mob ties operation worked. In the weeks before the official signing went through, Finesse had already released a project called FKK to Labels, basically a YouTube playlist of previously unreleased music, just to keep moving and show the world he wasn't going to sit still. The title alone was a statement. He was done with the system. He was done with the deal. And the only label he was willing to move forward with was one run by a rapper who'd already proven he was willing to fight the establishment, including specifically the Prince family. YoungBoy never said, "I did this to mock J. Prince." He didn't have to. In rap, the receipts speak. He signed the artist. He gave him a home. And by doing it openly, loudly, after everything that had played out publicly over the previous year, YoungBoy communicated everything he needed to without saying a single extra word. The Finesse2X signing to Never Broke Again is what it looks like when a beef moves from social media to the boardroom. It's what happens when a young rapper from Baton Rouge, who built his name refusing to bow to anyone, gets handed the perfect opportunity to put the Prince family on notice one more time and takes it without hesitation. Back in 2023, after YoungBoy made a diss track targeting someone connected to J. Prince, it felt like a provocation with no real endgame. Now, there's an endgame. The endgame is Finesse2X recording in Never Broke Again's orbit, putting out music under YoungBoy's flag, while J. Prince Jr. is left responding to the situation the best way he knows how, which based on the evidence appears to be trolling people about their appearance on Instagram. The story isn't over. The Prince sons have followed in their father's footsteps for better and worse, and one thing remains certain. There will always be some type of drama, and YoungBoy, who has never once shied away from drama with anyone, just made sure the next chapter of that drama has his fingerprints all over it. Whether Finesse2X thrives at Never Broke Again, whether J. Prince Jr. finds legal ground to complicate the situation, whether the Houston-Baton Rouge tension continues to boil over, all of that is still unfolding, but the move has been made. The signing happened, and YoungBoy's laugh was the loudest in the room. References: why is J. Prince Jr. at the heart of every controversy in Houston? 986,301 J. Prince Gertrude shots Finesse2tymes mob these dispute NBA YoungBoy checks Finesse2tymes for messaging his wife. 989,285 All-Star jaw taunting NBA Benton J. Prince responds to NBA YoungBoy. J. Prince disses NBA YoungBoy for his soul.